American comic book icon Stan Lee has been involved in co-creating multiple anime/manga IPs. Of these, his most famous collaboration is arguably Heroman. Lee and his production company POW Entertainment joined forces with Japanese animation studio Bones to create this property, starting with the manga published in Shonen Gangan from August 12, 2009 to October 2, 2011. The anime debuted on April 1st, 2010, that's no joke, and lasted 2 cours with 26 episodes, concluding on September 23rd that same year. And despite what the POW Entertainment website might have you believe, Fairy Tail's Grey Fullbuster is not in this anime. Yes, this is a real screenshot from their website. Yes, this is the first image on the Heroman page. Heroman takes place in Center City, and stars young orphan Joey Jones. Because of course his name is alliterative, it's a Stan Lee project. Joey wants one of the latest and greatest toy robots called Habos, and as luck would have it, he sees a rich kid and his jerk friends accidentally wreck one and throw it in the trash. Kind-hearted Joey puts in some elbow grease, repairs the toy, and gives it the name Heroman. The secret ingredient little Joey was missing though was a magic bolt of lightning. A bolt of lightning which transformed Heroman from refurbished toy to robotic superhero and changed his Digivice-looking controller into this gauntlet thing. This super fighting robot's transformation was well timed because soon after that fateful night, cockroach-looking aliens called the Scrug began invading Earth. It's up to Joey and Heroman to exterminate these evil extraterrestrials and save Earth. With inspiration and involvement from America on this anime, how did Heroman fare in the English-speaking world? Did Joey and Heroman become as iconic as Marvel greats, or did they go largely unnoticed? In celebration of what would have been Stan Lee's 101st birthday, let's look at Heroman's English releases. American viewers didn't need to wait for fan subs to start watching Heroman, as the show was simulcast on anime streaming site Crunchyroll with English subtitles. Premium users got to see the latest episodes of the anime in high definition only 1 hour after being broadcast in Japan. The episodes would be available on the site for free in standard definition 1 week after its Japanese broadcast. Simulcasting anime online was relatively new at the time, only having started 2 years prior, and Heroman was among 5 other series simulcast on Crunchyroll that season. The subtitle translation and timing were done by Sam Pinansky, who would go on to found J-Novel Club in March of 2016. First impressions of Heroman in the anime community were mixed, as viewers found this new superhero-inspired anime either sensational or generic. Episode 2, though, is where the action took off, and many were won over by its quote-unquote cheesiness, as posts on MyAnimeList put it. Come the final episode, fan feedback all came full circle as forum goers were mixed on how the show ended, but even those that disliked Heroman were not opposed to the ending's hint at a season 2. Critical consensus echoed many of the common thoughts seen on forums, with reviewers praising the show's solid animation and patches of excellent writing and ideas, but panning the cliched story tropes and character archetypes. The big 3 of aggregate anime score sites, those being MyAnimeList, AniList, and Anime Planet, all have Heroman hanging around a 6 or 7 out of 10. Amidst discussion of this collaboration between Japan and America, a Heroman English dub seemed all but guaranteed. Heroman is an anime with involvement from American comic book legend Stan Lee. The show's setting is based on Los Angeles, an American city. The characters have typical American names like Joey, Will, and Simon. And for goodness sake, Heroman himself has the colors and symbols of the American flag. It felt like having a dub of this anime was a no-brainer. Well, Heroman did receive a dub during its broadcast. Kind of. One of the companies behind the production of Heroman was Wowmax Media, a marketing and production company based out of Torrance, California, a city which is fittingly in the Los Angeles metropolitan area. Wowmax Media produced an English-dubbed episode of Heroman at NYAV Post as a pilot, a studio with locations in both New York and Los Angeles. According to a post from the California Conventions blog and a forum post by Anime News Network user Daisaku Kusama, the pilot premiered at Anime Expo 2010, an anime convention that took place from July 1st through 4th, 2010. The con had Bones co-founder Toshihiro Kawamoto as a guest of honor that year, and at the end of his panel Thursday afternoon, attendees were treated to the premiere of Heroman's pilot dub episode. So, are there any recordings of this dub's premiere, or at least this panel? Are there any reports on this dub's details other than it was pretty good? Is there any material of the dub at all? Nope. None. The only other thing known about this dub is that Robbie Daymond voiced Joey's scruffy-haired friend Sai, having listed the role on a resume online. Coincidentally, Daymond shares 2 roles with Ryohei Kimura, Sai's Japanese voice actor, Izumi no Kami Kanesada in Katsugeki Touken Ranbu, and Sori in Tales of Systeria the X. After the dub premiered at Anime Expo 2010, there was no further news on a full dub. So what happened? Again, Heroman seemed like such an obvious candidate for an English dub. Why did plans never come to fruition? Well, there were plans to bring Heroman stateside, as POW Entertainment and Disney made a licensing deal to air the anime in the US. Sam Panansky, who remember worked on the English subtitles for Heroman, claimed Disney pulled out of the deal with POW Entertainment for unknown reasons, leaving Heroman without a US channel to call home. When asked by Anime News Network's Mike Toole, Robbie Damon further confirmed that Wowmax Media and NYAV Post only dubbed the pilot episode, with no further dub episodes being produced. As of this recording, the pilot is unavailable to watch and no other voice actors are known from this project. Any further details are up to speculation. It's possible the reasons behind Disney backing out on airing Heroman may never be made public, not only because of the likely legal red tape surrounding the story, but also details possibly being lost to time. This project happened over a decade ago, and given it was only for an episode, it's doubtful anyone that worked on this Heroman pilot recalls much about the dub, even if they're allowed to share details. I reached out to NYAV Post for further comment, but have not received a response as of recording. One common story behind Heroman's odd absence in the West is that the show underperformed in Japan, which led to Disney not wanting to move forward with the American debut. Heroman was not an outright flop, but was far from a success, landing in the 10 least watched anime that season by Japanese TV ratings. This show was pretty much made with a Western audience in mind, so the fact Disney didn't evaluate it that way and didn't take the gamble on having Heroman be a hit in the US is beyond anyone's knowledge. This action anime could have even ended up like Ultimate Muscle, which underperformed in Japan but succeeded in the West. So again, the info behind Heroman's failure to launch in America may never be made freely available, but an English version of the series did air on a Disney-owned station on the other side of the planet. In 2012, an English dub of Heroman began to air on Disney XD in Southeast Asia. The show aired Monday through Friday during evenings on the station. This dub was recorded at SDI Media Hong Kong, and unlike its ill-fated American counterpart, this dub covers the entire anime. So that means we've got the full dub available, or at least one episode, right? Yeah, Heroman can't catch a break because this English dub too is completely lost. There were once clips of the dub posted on YouTube by Disney XD Malaysia around the time the dub made its debut. A 2-minute clip, 2 1-minute clips, and a 30-second clip. These videos have since been made private, and the videos are not known to have been saved anywhere online. Special thanks to users of the Lost Media Wiki for finding these archive.org links. While none of the dub's episodes are available, there are 2 commercials uploaded online thanks to Ryujin Mabuyur and Echo Fox. These commercials, as well as other sources online, help voice ID some actors on this dub. So let's take a look at the available cast for Heroman's SDI Media Hong Kong dub. As always, please note other roles listed on these voice actor profiles are for Hong Kong dubs, not North American ones. Muriel Hoffman plays Joey in this Heroman dub. Hoffman was cast as young male leads throughout her career, such as Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the titular character of Hayate the Combat Butler, and she used a similar voice when playing Joey.
One day a mythical hero appears right in front of your eyes. Turns out he's your servant and will do anything you tell him to do. Introducing Heroman! Heroman! Engage!
Hoffman also plays Joey's grandma, Virginia Jones. Matt Bailey, aka Matthew Leonhardt, is the voice of both Joey's friend Cy and undercover special agent Hughes. This info is available thanks to him listing both roles on his resume, coincidentally just like the American voice of Cy, Robbie Damon. Currently, there is only footage of Leonhardt playing Cy, not Hughes.
You need to start standing up for yourself, man.
This dub of Heroman was directed by Jack Murphy. Up until recently, Hoffman and Leonhardt were the only 2 confirmed voice actors in this dub, but thanks to Murphy, there are now more confirmed roles based on audio from the commercials and his own memory. Before jumping into the cast list, it's worth noting these commercials were produced separately from the actual show. Murphy noted the studio was not paid for making the advertisements, so voice talent heard in dub clips from commercials were often made with whoever was in the studio that day. For example, the bully William Davis is played by Jack Murphy in the commercials. However, Murphy recalled in the dub episodes that the character is played by Russell Waite. Here's a clip of Murphy voicing William.
You better not be planning to be a hero.
Murphy did confirm Hoffman and Leonhardt are the characters in both the show and commercials, but the voice actor confirmations to follow are for the commercials only and may or may not be accurate to the dub's episodes. Michael Zuck, better known as Mike Brooks, plays the extraterrestrial-obsessed science teacher Professor Matthew Denton.
Hello? Please, won't you respond?
Brooks also plays the police officer on the left here.
You need a permit to do this.
The voice heard right after Denton's transmission is Simon Broad. playing a member of the Scrug Army.
We're receiving an interstellar broadcast.
And lastly, while she's not heard in any commercials, Catherine Fu is part of this dub of Heroman. Neither Murphy nor Fu herself recall what character she plays in this dub, but Fu believes it may have been cheerleader Lena. With these new cast members now known, the full list of confirmed voice actors in the SDI Media Hong Kong Heroman dub so far, be it commercials or the show, is Muriel Hoffman, Matthew Leonhardt, Jack Murphy, Mike Brooks, Russell Waite, Simon Broad, and Catherine Fu. There is a post on Reddit that swears Stan Lee voiced himself in this English dub. Murphy never worked directly with Stan Lee on this dub, but if Lee was in this dub of Heroman, the audio would have to come from the Japanese side directly and be included in the music and effects track. Murphy stated if he was to cast anyone as Stan Lee, it would be either Simon Broad or Mike Brooks. Until footage of the Hong Kong Heroman dub surfaces, there is no way to confirm this info. The only other info I can find on the Disney XD broadcast of Heroman is by a user in 2012 named Ori_10 on Twitter. In this tweet, the user complains that Disney XD aired episodes of the anime in random order. I can't confirm this since this is the only post online talking about this problem. Otherwise, it seemed Heroman left the station by 2015 at the latest. The last Heroman media released in English was the manga, published by Vertical Comics. The English version of the manga first released in America on October 30th, 2012, with the final volume hitting store shelves on July 23rd, 2013. Unfortunately, this is where info on Heroman's English releases ends. While it was one of the first anime to receive a simulcast release with English subtitles, it never had a widely available English dub, and the dub that covered the entire series was on a Southeast Asian TV channel with no recordings known to exist. This collaborative anime never received as much as a sub-only home video release in the West, so after its initial simulcast and a couple years of discussion, interest in Heroman faded. At this point, it's doubtful Heroman will be revived, but hopefully soon we'll see either English dub resurface online. If you'd like to see Heroman yourself, the anime is available for streaming on Crunchyroll in Japanese with subtitles. It's honestly a fun watch if you're into campy superhero shows. Stay tuned because I am announcing the next season's opening episode soon. Let me know in the comments what you think of Heroman, what you think of what little is available of the dubs, who you would cast for an English dub, or anything you want to see me cover in future videos. Thank you to everyone that's watched my videos these past almost 4 years. I can't believe we're 27 episodes into this YouTube series. Next year's lineup is pretty stacked as I have mostly requested videos lined up, but also some that nobody's requested but I've wanted to cover for ages. You're gonna have to wait until April though, but in between seasons I will be releasing other videos plus new episodes of my podcast English Voiceover in Asia. First up is Dwayne Tan from Singapore, stay tuned for that. Shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon and Twitch. Supporters on either platform got to see this video early, so if you'd like to support what I do, gain access to my exclusive Discord server, and have your name on screen here, please consider supporting. Until next time, Happy New Year, take care, and Excelsior!